Hey coaches, Coach McKie here, and welcome to my channel. This channel is dedicated to the spread offense. And yes, you can use a tight end in the spread offense. And in today's video, I'm going to go over 3 different ways we use a tight end while we're running our spread offense. Alright coaches, so as you can see, I've drawn up the formation with the H-back into the boundary. I like having the H-back in the boundary because I know what I'm going to get from the defense. All the defensive coordinators I go against, for some reason, they want to keep 2 high safeties and they want to play read coverage. And it's funny because defensive coordinators and defensive-minded guys give the offensive guys a lot of crap because we want to run the spread or we want to run the RPOs. But they're the same way. Their RPO is read coverage. So they want to go read coverage, coverage 4, matchup, whatever the term is that you use where you're at. That's what the defensive coordinators want to do. And that's fine because to me that's a simple coverage that we can attack. So in this, we've got our H-back to the left. We're going to run our inside zone. But we're going to use the H to kick out the end. Now we call it a Wham Block. I know Chris Audit, I think, uses swipe. A lot of people use smash. I know where I was before we used cap. Whatever terminology you want to use, that is fine. You're just telling this H-back, whatever term you're using, hey, you're kicking out the guy that is coming off the C gap. And how we block our inside zone is a little different. And again, I'm out of a school that for 18 years has been a wing T, so I tried to make things more gap oriented because that's what they've been running for 18 years. So I want my zone scheme to kind of match up to my pin and pull and my one back power. So the same rules kind of apply. If we're running zone to the left tackle, you got head up to outside, so he's blocking the end. Our guard, you are either blocking whoever's in the B gap or who's in the A gap. There's nobody in the B gap, so you're blocking the guy that's in the A gap. The center, you're blocking A gap, and it depends on which way we're going. So since we're going to the left, you're gonna, if there's a guy in the left A gap, you're gonna block it. Right now there's a guy in the left A gap, so you're blocking that guy. Now these two are comboing to the linebacker. This guard, you've got the same rules. A gap to B gap. No A gap defender, so you're going to be blocking the B gap defender. Our backside tackle, you are blocking the B gap. So you're blocking, and then those two are comboing up to this linebacker. Now remember, in our normal inside zone, you're reading the end. But since we've called wham, the H-back is coming across and taking out the end. And what I like about this is now, since we've got our 6 on their 6, it clears it up and we can read any one of these guys. Now in the previous video I said we had a play called Superman where we would run a post with the L and read the safety. On this play I just like to have this guy run a 3-step hitch. And what that does is the quarterback, if he's got leverage or if he's got a cushion, and that cushion depends on your guy, what we like to do is 5 or more. Once the ball snapped, the quarterback's going to catch, turn, and throw the ball with the hitch, and we'll take that all day. If this guy's in the face, then that's dead. What I like to do when we're doing our wham blocking is I like to run a speed out by number 2 and a mandatory outside release by number 1. He won't go that crooked. That's an awful route. And what that does is now the quarterback, instead of reading somebody here, is reading this linebacker. So if this linebacker wants to cheat into the box or at the snap, because a lot of the teams that we play, they'll put a guy here, but then he'll start sneaking in, and when the ball's snapped, he's going to run in. That's fine, let him do that, because if he runs in, then all the quarterback's going to do is just going to pull the ball and throw it out here. Because again, this is why I think read coverage is simple, is essentially if he's running it off and he attacks and makes this guy go outside, then he's going to run with him. Now I know it's supposed to, he sees this guy, he comes down, he goes over the top. That's fine, we've hit it back here in this hole. But for the most part, this corner is going to bail at least a little bit. And the quarterback is just going to, if he sees this guy come, he just pulls the ball and it's a nice little 3-step out. He gets it to our guy in space, and then it's one-on-one. If not, if this linebacker just stays there or collisions this number 2, then he just hands the ball off, and we tell our tailback it is open step, crossover, and you are pressing the center's butt because we want it to cut back if it can. Alright, So coaches, for the next one, it's a little variation off of the wham block. So we still have the same formation. Our H-back is into the boundary because that usually for us gives us a too high look. And we're going to run our inside zone, but we're going to call it arrow. And what the arrow tells the guy, our H-back, is instead of blocking the end, you're going to run an arrow route 3 yards into the flat. So this is what we do. Okay, so I've drawn up the 3 technique is on the left side now. So we've got inside zone. Our rules still stay the same. Tackle, you got head up to outside, so you've got the end. Guard, you've got a B gap defender and A gap defender. Well, you got the 3 technique, so that is, to us, that is a B gap defender, so you are blocking him. Center, you got A gap to A gap. Well, there's no one in the play side A gap, but there is someone in the backside A gap, so you are going to block him. It's a quick, you're going to pick up your left foot, put it down. With the right foot, you're going to step and you're going to lock on to that A gap defender. Guard, you got A gap to B gap. Well, there's no B gap, so now you're going to help the center with this A gap, and then y'all are going to double team to this backside linebacker. And then our tackle, you've got B gap. You're going to secure the B gap. No one's coming. Then you are going to climb up to the linebacker. So the quarterback knows he is going to read this end. What the H is going to do is the H is going to come, look like he's going to kick out, and then he is going to continue into the flat. And what arrow tells the 2 wide receivers is, hey, you're blocking. So you've got the number 2 wide receiver, most dangerous man. Number 1 wide receiver, most dangerous man. It could be the corner or it could be the safety. And the quarterback, you've got 2 reads. 1, can you throw the 3-step hitch? If you can throw that, I don't care. I don't care. You throw that thing until they take it away. That is number 1. If it's a gift route, they give it to you, you take it. We will march all the way down the field. If this corner comes up and takes that away, then you're reading this end. If this end crashes and takes away the run, if he looks like, this end looks like he can make the tackle, you pull the ball. If this end just sits there or you don't think he can make the tackle, you hand it off. Alright? So let's say that the end crashes and the quarterback pulls the ball. Then you are running to throw to the H-back. And most of the time I say for the quarterback to run to throw, but the way this is drawn up and the way it's worked for us is if you get a pull, you just flick it out there to the H-back and he'll get it, and we've got the numbers to go. Now you don't want to use this with like a guard that you're putting at H-back. You want to use it if this, for the most part, let's say you have a wide receiver who's tall and lanky but really isn't that big of a blocker and you want to get the ball in his hands. This is a play I like to use. We've used it a couple of times in the red zone. For some reason the defense forgets about the tight end, H-back, going across, and it's just usually a touchdown for us. This is a short yardage play for us. But this is another adjustment to the wham blocking that'll make the defense stay on their heels. Okay, coaches, the last thing we like to do is we like to run our little speed sweep into the boundary off of this, and using our RPO tag that I went over last video, the Coke. And how we do that is we just use zone blocking, but we tell the man, the backside tackle, that he's locking on. So we're zone blocking to the left. We're going to use our tag, man, our M. That's what we use to tell the backside tackle he is secure in the B gap, and if no one shows, then he's hinge blocking. It's essentially the old hinge block on the power. Everybody else, you've got your gap. You got your gap to the left. So everyone's just going to their left. Anyone shows up, that's great. If not, you work to the second level. The H, you are working for the first color jersey that comes. Tailback, you're looking for the first color jersey that comes. Really simple blocking. Now the F, which is our fast guy for F, he's coming in motion. And the quarterback wants to snap the ball right when he gets at the tackle. He's going to snap it, and then he's going to take 2 shuffle steps to the left with the ball out. And wait, where his eyes are on this cornerback. Because the RL, he's going to come up, act like he's blocking for a second, and then he is firing off on a vertical. And our quarterback is reading this corner. If the corner comes up and bites on it, then the quarterback is going to take 2 shuffles, take 1 step back, and then he's going to throw it out there to the L. If the corner runs with the L, then all the quarterback does is just hand the ball off. And I like to use this play if you got a stud at the L and you're trying to get him the ball more. This is a great thing to mess with this corner, because most of the time defenses go too high, they man this guy on, but the cornerbacks, they're 14, 15, 16-year-old kids. When they see something coming their way, their eyes go in the backfield. How many times have you watched film and you go, crap, I should have thrown the ball because this corner right here is eyes in the backfield. I should have done some form of play action or something. Well, this is an easy way for us to do this, and I'm not smart enough to call that shot, and I'm into it in the game, so I never see that. But if I know watching film that this corner might have a possibility and that this guy's really fast and I can give him the ball, then I'll call it. So it's either hand the ball off or throw the ball based on what the corner is doing. Alright, coaches, so those are 3 different ways we use a tight end in our offense. If you use your tight end in any way that's different from that, please let me know in the comments below. I love to hear from you, and I've gotten some great ideas from you all. I also want to say thank you from the emails that I've gotten from you. I've learned a couple of things that I will be adding to my playbook come the spring. And if you enjoyed this video, please give a like and subscribe. I try to put out something new every week. And until next week, remember, let's continue to master the spread, score points, and have fun.